Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's a holiday weekend here in the United States. Hope you all are doing well. Today, I just want us to talk about my journey. I know I usually appear here with my buddy Gustav. Unfortunately, he's not here today. So I gave it some time to stop by just to see how you all are doing and to discuss about my financial journey towards financial independence. So I'm still I'm still in the process of building. Building takes time. Building takes time, guys. Some of us are looking for shortcuts, but building takes time. My journey close to over 2 decades here in the United States have just been incredible. It has been incredible. Came here to pursue my MBA. After my MBA, got a job with the state, worked my way up, became the chief audit executive at the state treasurer's office. That is where my investment journey started. I was sent to the New York Stock Exchange market to understand how investment works. Right from humble beginnings, right from boy, I never knew what the stock market was before coming to the United States. All I knew was to work hard and maybe save money, build a house, buy a car, and that was financial freedom or building wealth is. So coming to the United States, I got to understand that building wealth means something totally different. Building wealth doesn't necessarily mean how much money you have in the bank account. Building wealth doesn't necessarily mean how many houses you build. Building wealth doesn't necessarily mean how many cars you have parked in your garage. Or building wealth doesn't necessarily mean you're looking at your bank account every day and you are excited and happy with where your finances is. Building wealth and building financial freedom is in the mind. What does financial freedom mean to you? To me, it means something totally different. And to you, it might be something totally different. That is one of the reasons that I'm here today. What does financial freedom mean to you? Is it a set number that when you meet it, you will feel as if, okay, I'm satisfied and I've reached a pinnacle of my life where I can just sit back and relax? Or is it cash flow that you can put assets working for you, and when you start getting this cash flow, you can say, okay, you know what? I can still continue doing my regular job that I'm doing, but you know what? I can decide to take 6 months off. I can decide to take a year off from my regular job. I can even decide to stop working and retire early while doing what my cash flow is bringing in. So financial freedom means totally different to different people. And you and just you have to understand that. But today, we are going to talk about financial freedom and how to get there. Those of us that are in the diaspora, be it in Europe, Canada, or the United States, we have enormous amount of ways to build wealth that we are not taking advantage of. It's not just working hard, it's about working smart. And when we start understanding the ways of working smart, we will build extraordinary amount of income and wealth. And all this starts with a foundation. What are you doing now? What is your source of income? Are you just relying on your 9 to 5 every day, Monday to Friday? Are you working so hard, but at the same time, you don't really see where that money goes? Or are you that person that works, you make the money, but at the end of the year, you can't really pinpoint where you put your money and your resources? This is for you. Each and every one of us, we have to start with a foundation. We have to be true to ourselves. Do you know why money isn't taught in school? Because they want the consumer to keep stimulating the economy so that the rich can continuously make money. I just posted something today, just this afternoon, when Ross, some folks that are in the United States, they understand what Ross is. Ross is a chain store where they sell clothing, all kinds of stuff. But this Ross is listed in the stock exchange market. Most of us, we go and shop at Ross, but we don't even understand that has a stock. Today, they reported their ending, Blockbuster ending. their stock went up close to 9%. When I say 9% on $100, that will be small. But when I say 9% on $100,000, that's close to $10,000 in just a day. Most of us, we want to build wealth pretty quick. We want to take the shortcut. That there isn't any short way to building wealth. If you have wealth using the shortcut, there is a high probability that you will lose that money all. And that is why if you see majority of gamblers that win large sums, if they don't get help of good financial planner, private equity, and maybe hedge fund, they might lose all of that money. But you and I that are building wealth from scratch, you have to understand your foundation. You have to understand where your money is coming from and where your money is going to. That brings me to my number one point. We have to start paying ourselves first. A couple years ago, back in the days, I used to understand that paying yourself first is when you get paid, you just rush to the mall or you rush to the bar with your friends, have a drink, enjoy life. That's paying yourself first. Now, but paying yourself simply means you're preparing for your later days when you won't be able to work as hard as you're working today. Because the energy that we have today, some of us 10, 20, 30 years from today, we won't have that energy. And we won't be able to produce the amount of income that we're bringing in today if we don't plan in preparation for that rainy day. So building that foundation, understanding where your money is coming from, paying yourself first, putting aside that 10, 15, 20% aside on a constant basis. If you're paid monthly or you're paid every 2 weeks, 15, 20% aside towards an investment. Some folks, they play Njangi. Again, that is not an investment to me because it doesn't yield any returns. And if you factor in inflation, 3 to 4% every year, you're losing money. Building wealth takes time. Those of you that are in the United States, there are incredible ways that you can put your money, be it on high yield savings account, that you can get 3 to 5% return, be it just on the S&P 500 that over the past 100 years have performed at an average of 9%. Or you can take advantage of the stock market, start investing in individual stocks or even in mutual and index funds. By those, you are expanding your horizon and you're investing in one of the top tier economies in the world. The American finance system, ecosystem is built on the stock market. And that is why those of you that have jobs that provide you 401ks, 90% of your money is being invested in the stock market. And that's why you see people retire and they get a nest egg that they live on during their retirement age. My question here to you is, how prepared are you towards your retirement age? Are you just working so hard right now where you're going to get into a point where you won't be able to retire and you have to work till you die? And that is why Warren Buffett rightly said, if you don't invest right now, if you don't produce cash flow, if you don't build assets that will produce you cash flow as you work right now, there is a high probability that you're going to work till you die. I was at a conference the other day in Dallas about a money conference where I was one of the presenters there. One of the presenters made mention of the fact that whoever invested in Uber, when Uber IPO'd, that's about 18 years ago, $10,000 could have generated you over $100 million today. What? That is just crazy. That's not what we're preaching here today. But at the same time, you have to start building that mindset on building a nest egg that will take you to that 10, 15 years, 20 years, or even 30 years of investing. Investing grows geometrically. It compounds. When you start on a smaller amount, say $1,000 or $500, you won't see that much of a difference. But I'll bet you, being consistent 5, 10, 15 years, you will see incredible amount of growth. We're living in a time where growth is in growth, and the advent of artificial intelligence has never seen before. Companies in the stock exchange markets have been reporting blazer earnings, and these stock prices continue to skyrocket. But some of you are left out of this new revelation because you want to continuously do the same thing and expecting a different result. Building that foundation is critical. Understanding where your money is going, having a budget, so that with that budget, you see where the leak, with the budget, it's going to show you where the leaks are. Some of us don't even understand where we spend our money. Some of us don't even understand where we spend our money. And we think that there is and we understand that there is a problem, but we don't look for a way to figure out how to solve that problem. If you can't really understand, or you can't put time in figuring out the money that you've worked so hard to get, there is a high probability that you're going to work till you die. A majority of us, we take time, go to work every day, we get there on time, we do the best, we make the money, but when the money comes in, we care less on where the money goes. That's where building that foundation comes into place. After you have built that foundation, get an emergency fund, invest in yourself, pay yourself first, study hard, learn different things, surround yourself with the right people that will uplift you. If you're constantly in a room that you're the smartest in that room, that it's time for you to change that room. Because you have to start aligning yourself with successful people that you admire. Each and every one of us, we know who are the successful people around us, but rather we shy away from them because we want to be heard and we want to be felt. Until you identify that there is a problem that needs to be solved, you continue to live day by day. Every day I align myself and I try to learn something new. I align myself with the right people that can teach me or I can learn from. And even if it requires me paying them, I do that. We have to change our habits. We all know the bad habits that we have. We're not willing to take chances. We're not willing to learn. We're not willing to move out of our comfort zone. If some of us, if you've listened to the 21 rules that will create habits, if you do the same thing for 21 days, you build a habit. Everything is hard before it's easy. Everything is hard before it's easy. So my journey in building wealth has been a tough situation. It hasn't been easy. I have constantly paid myself first over the past 15 years. And I continuously plan on doing that for the next 20. Even the Bible stated clearly, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. An inheritance doesn't necessarily mean that you leave your kids money and you don't even teach them how you've worked hard for that money. And when you pass on, they squander it. We spend little time with our own kids. Whatever they ask of us, we just give it to them. We make them feel as if money is easy. Meanwhile, it's not. We don't create time to sit with our kids to discuss about money. Some of our kids don't even understand the kind of jobs that we do. Some of us go out there 15, 20-hour shifts. We come back, we're tired every day, every single week. It's high time for us to start getting some of those conversations. When you've built that foundation, the next step here is you have to build, you have to get the creamer on top of it. And that is during the that is during the accumulation phase. When you have your foundation, your emergency fund, you started paying yourself first. Now you're accumulating. Accumulation takes time. Let no one come and tell you, oh, put money here, you'll get it, you'll multiply in 2 months or in 3 months. That's a fallacy. Building wealth takes time. And that is why folks work for 40 years before they retire. Some folks work for 30 years before they retire. And they have been putting a nest tag in retirement plans for all those years. And that's why they can retire comfortably. Majority of us, we don't even have a retirement plan. All we're thinking about here in the United States is Social Security. I want to tell you something. Social Security is slowly drying out. There is no guarantees 10, 15 years from today, 20 years from today, when we start retiring, we'll have Social Security. So the bad news for you today that I'll break, if you're depending on Social Security, that doesn't sound good. You might end up with zero in retirement, and you might be forced to go back to work and work till your last days. If you even have the energy and the strength to do that. So during the accumulation phase, you have to be sincere with yourself and be consistent. And that is why, if you see in retirement funds, they are being deducted before it comes to your account. Because if they let you get that money, you won't contribute to your retirement. But even those of you that don't have the retirement plan, you can create your own retirement plan. You can start building your own retirement plan. And that is why we at WealthSmart, we can coach you. We can guide you towards that process. There isn't any quick money scheme that you make. If anybody comes to you and tell you, oh, there is a quick way to make money, reason twice and you're wrong. And that is why we come here every week to teach you guys how money is being made. Because privilege is not meant to be hoarded, it's meant to be shared. I am a true testament of building financial freedom over time. I've shared my portfolios here, and I'll continue to share my portfolios as they grow. Building wealth it's not in a day or a month. Money is stressful by itself. And that's why most people don't like to talk about money, because it's a stressful topic. Especially in this time when groceries are more expensive, gas is more expensive. Some of us are living day by day, paycheck by paycheck. Some folks don't even have jobs. Companies are laying off people every single day. The other day, Intuit is promising on laying 17% of its workforce due to the advent of artificial intelligence. My question to you today is, if you're let go from your job, can you live 3 to 6 months or to a year without a job? If that answer is no, then it's time to start making changes. It's time for you to seek help, because just by yourself, you haven't been able to do it. So you should seek help from a practitioner, from a coach that will help you put your resources together for you. We went through trainings before we could get where we are today. Some of you guys, you've got it. Some you will need to go through training to get to where you want to get to. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. If you're not taking action today, there's a high probability 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years, you won't still take that action. So the time to act is now. The time to take action is now. And the time to build is now. It doesn't matter how much you make. It doesn't matter where you start. I started a portfolio 15 years ago with $20. It's multiple 6 figures today. Because I stayed consistent, I built from the ground top, and I never looked back. Again, it doesn't matter how much you start. Money is emotional, and many people don't talk about it. And that's why you don't see many. If we were gossiping here, we could have had over 1,000 people on this app. But we're talking about money. This is something a lot of people don't want to talk about. But I'll bet you, if you don't align your finances, especially during your accumulation phase, there is a high probability that you will rely on the government or on others for you to survive during your disbursement phase, because you will not have anything to disperse. Start by setting your GPS. Where do you want to get to? You have to set your GPS where you want to get to, then you align yourself as you make progress. You have to build your Sunday. Are you investing in real estate? Are you investing in the stock market? Are you investing in alternative assets, in gold, in oil and gas, in private equity? Then we can help you and coach you with respect to how to bring all of this together. I challenge you all today, give yourself a chance. If you have issues with budgeting, if every time you get paid, you're always on a deficit, you have a budget problem. If every time you get paid, you have to use a credit card in order to make whole, you have a budget problem. So there's simple problems that you have to solve before you can even start thinking of building wealth. Without you solving those problems, there is a high probability you're not going to make any progress. So, what can we do for you at WealthSmart? We can guide you, we can coach you, and we can show you the way to build wealth and to build financial freedom. At WealthSmart, we also opened WealthSmart Next Gen. This is a program for kids that are aged 8 to 17. We're teaching these kids life financial skills that will carry them into adulthood. Majority of us were never taught about this when we started growing up. This experience that we're giving kids to learn about money as early as possible with the help of their parents, if these kids between 8 and 17, they capture these life-changing skills, there shouldn't be any reason within the next 20 to 25 years all these kids are millionaires. Because they're starting early and they won't be spending their money on useless stuff. But unfortunately, we don't prioritize things like this. We prioritize what we wear, we prioritize what we drive, we prioritize the house that we live in. But at the same time, the people that we have to take care of, like the kids, giving them and putting them in programs that will uplift them and give them a symbol for them to live a fulfilling life in the future, we don't prioritize that. We have our next course that's coming up May 30th. We have just 15 slots. Already 12 of those slots are taken. We don't take that many kids so that we can have that one-on-one interaction with these kids. If you're living in the United States, in Europe, or in Canada, you can enroll your kids to this program. We will teach them ways to make money, even not going out to work. We will teach them how to save their money, how to structure their money, and we will teach them ways to invest in the stock exchange market. If your kid can go and wants you to buy stuff from McDonald's, or maybe wants you to buy Roblox, they can invest in those stocks as well. If your kids know how to use your phone and search stuff on Amazon, they should be investing in Amazon. If you take your kids to Walmart and Costco, they should also understand that they can own companies of Walmart and Costco. These concepts are so easy, but it's so difficult to implement because people don't take time. They take time to work so hard, but they don't take time to build what they've worked so hard for. If you look, you can reach out to us. Our website is worldsmartadvisory.com, or you can reach out to us at 505-470-0447. We can't keep hoarding this information because we have seen how it has transformed our life and transformed the people that we've been working with for a couple years. We want to bring you on board, and this is your opportunity to take. Because time doesn't wait for anybody, and the time to take action, it's now. Until next time, Dr. Heinrich here. Ciao.